That being the E like A sound, many, A may very well be the most famous letter of the alphabet, and that's primarily because it comes first. For all intents and purposes, it is the poster child of the alphabet, letters, and maybe even language as a whole. However, I personally think there's a bit of a problem with all of this. That problem being the fact that A is kind of bad at doing its job. What is the point of a written letter? They're supposed to visually represent a sound we make when speaking and within words. Take the letter M in example. When this letter appears in a word, it makes the M sound, and on the whole it makes that sound no matter what, whether it appears in the word mop, monkey, or mummy. A, on the other hand, doesn't really follow that pattern. A doesn't represent a single sound, but instead we use it in written language to represent multiple different sounds. And yeah, I know the correct term for a sound in language is a phoneme, but for ease's sake, I'm just calling them sounds in this video. But phoneme, sound, potato, potato, potato? Does anyone actually say potato? I don't know, let's carry on. A makes no less than 5 different sounds. Perhaps the one most linked with it is the short vowel sound, the A sound heard in words like apple. This is seen by many as the definitive sound the letter makes. Like if a kid is learning the sounds of the alphabet, this is the sound they're going to be told A makes, and then their little world will be destroyed when they find out it makes a bunch more sounds too, I guess. Its second sound is referred to as a long vowel sound. This is when we say A in a word in a similar way to the sound of its name, as opposed to any actual sound it might make. Think of the A sound in a word like cake, and you should have a good idea as to what I'm actually talking about with this one. Its third sound is called the broad A sound. This is when it makes a really long R type sound in a word such as heart. The next one is perhaps the oddest sound it makes, as it sounds like a different sound that a different letter makes altogether. This is the O-like sound it makes in a word such as ball. You can hear it kind of makes an O type sound in this case. It's a really weird one, like why don't we just spell it with an O or something? And once again, we have another example of it making a sound that's similar to another vowel. That being the E like sound it can create. Think of a word like many, which once again would make way more sense if it was spelled M-E-N-Y as opposed to M-A-N-Y. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being too logical for you English right now. This means A in English can make the 5 sounds of A, R, all, or which is a lot to put onto a single letter. It's crazy that one single letter can make so many sounds. So as I mentioned in the title of this video, why is that the case? Well, I could simply say it's down to the fact that English is a very silly language and call it a day, but it's actually a lot more to it than that. But before we really dive into it, I want to say a huge thank to my most recent patrons and super thanks leavers. So a huge thank to patron Troy Hong Samir, and super thanks leaver Christine Brown 3359, Feud Jordan 92, and Niles 1717. And I want to say a special thank to Christine Brown 3359. You probably noticed, but their name pops up an awful lot during this segment of the video, and they're constantly leaving super thanks. So that's so appreciated. Really, thank you so much, Christine, for all the lovely support you give the channel. You know what, I've been thinking about doing this for a while. Every time you do it, I was like, oh, maybe I should give them a special shout out. And today's your lucky day I'm finally doing it. Yes, thank you so much. Go and make yourself known in the comments down below. You don't need to leave any more super thanks. You've done so much to help the channel, but I really appreciate that. But anyway, Patreon is the best way to financially support Name Explained, and donating just $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, a chance to say what names get explained, an exclusive monthly newsletter, and your name at the end of these videos. All of that can be found at patreon.com/Name Explained, which we linked down below. Conversely, if you want to just make a one-time donation, like Christine, you can leave a super thanks directly in the comments section of any of my videos here on YouTube. They help out tremendously too. Thank you. And of course, once again, I'm plugging my book, Immigrant Tongues, exploring how languages moved, evolved, and defined us. It is out on the 12th of August in the USA and at a later date around the world. Once again, these book plugs in these videos are always completely unscripted, so I'm going to script it a little bit. I'm going to read a random sentence from the book to give you guys a little tease. Let's find out what I'm going to say. Across the rest of the 17th, 18th, and early into the 19th century, Britain sailed directly to China to... Can't even read my own book. You know what? You're gonna have to read instead, aren't you? That's the end of that tease for that one. Yes, go please pre-order Immigrant Tongues. It's a book, despite me being silly just then, it's a book I've worked super hard on for well over many years now, from that initial idea to plan it all out to asking my publisher if they'll be interested. Thank you so much to Mango for publishing it, to having it here now. I'm going to hold it up again to the camera because it's so exciting. The book is all about language migration, covering how languages end up in all different kinds of parts of the world. How it doesn't talk about the letter A, I'm afraid, but I could lie and say it does to relate to this video. But it doesn't. It just talks about how languages move around the world, and I think that's pretty cool. So if you want to get, there'll be pre-order links down below. This might be the worst plug ever for a book. I'm not going to tell my publishers about this one. I should really script these, but here we are, I guess. Anyway, the true reason A makes so many different sounds is due to a huge difference between spoken language and written language. A is of course a vowel, and a vowel sound is basically any sound we make in language where we don't have to fully close our mouth. As you see when I make the sound, I don't have to close my mouth. You guys just get a good look down my throat and see what I have for breakfast or something. While if I make a consonant sound like the letter P makes, P, you see I have to close my mouth to do so. English has been spoken for a very, very long time, and since its inception, it has acquired a large variety of vowel sounds. We don't have an exact number on the amount of vowel sounds presented in English, but it's somewhere around the 20 mark. This may come as a surprise to some people, as despite the fact we have around 20 vowel sounds, we do not have 20 vowel letters. In its written form, English has 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes Y is included too. It's a whole thing, but don't worry about it right now. English acquired these 5 vowel letters when they adopted the Latin alphabet as their written manuscript of choice many, many years ago. Prior to this, English in its oldest form was written with runes known as Forfork. Forfork? I always have to say that in multiple videos, and I'm always so close to saying a really rude word. So yeah, don't demonetize me, YouTube. English adopting the Latin alphabet was a huge milestone for the language, but it created an issue. The alphabet didn't have enough vowel letters to represent the many vowel sounds English had formed. English had around 20 vowel sounds and only 5 vowel letters. This meant that these vowel sounds had to share letters. Ones that sounded somewhat similar to one another were represented in the written form with the exact same letter. And this is the key reason as to why A has all these sounds. They had to cram all of these sounds into this alphabet somehow, and this is how they did it. You know when you have too many mugs and not enough space in the cupboard and you precariously stack them onto one another, then slam the door shut and stop thinking about it? That's kind of what happened here. And of course, there was also the great vowel shift. This is something I've talked about many times in various videos, and I still don't fully understand the finer details of it myself. But it was basically a period of centuries where the English language started to change the sounds vowels made. What once E sounds started making more A-like sounds, and so on. Yet while the spoken language changed during all of this, the written form didn't. Which is another reason why A makes so many different sounds too. Seriously, I'm so bored of talking about the great vowel shift. It hurts my head too much. I never want to speak about it again. But this is ultimately the reason why A has so many different sounds in modern English. But is there anything we can do to solve it? Well, we've already made some headway. In some cases, we can understand what sound an A is going to make in a word depending on the other letters in that word. Like when an A is preceded by an E, more often than not it makes that more broad sound, like we saw in heart. But we could also do something way more extreme. We could create whole new letters to represent these vowel sounds. Or we could finally adopt accent marks in a big way, like many other languages have done to avoid this issue. And of course, I just need to stress A is not the only letter to make more than one sound. It's just the one I wanted to pick on for this video. Seriously, A has been in the spotlight for too long. It needs to get off its high horse. If there's an A in your name, let me know about it down below and tell me what sound it makes. In my name of Patrick, for example, it makes that short sound. And of course, suggest a topic down below which we could cover in next Monday's Name Explain video. It could be about literally anything, and the topic can be as niche or broad as you like. I will then choose 3 of those topics and place them in a poll for my patrons to vote on. Then the winner from that poll will be the topic covered in next Monday's Name Explain video. You can vote in that poll, as well as enjoy many other great benefits by visiting patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below, and by donating just $1 a month. Thank you. And of course, guys, it's time for another hastily put together book plug. Yay! Seriously, just look at this bad boy. Should I try another random sentence and not butcher it this time? Varieties of Latin American Spanish are numero uno across the Americas, especially in South America. Nailed it. Yep, so that's just one line from this book. Maybe I'll do so many of these plugs I'll end up reading the entire book like a monkey on a typewriter, but please, joking aside, please do consider pre-ordering it. If this sounds like something you'd like, if you enjoy Name Explain, and if you made it this far into this mess of a video, I guess you do, then you will no doubt adore this book. It's great. I genuinely I'm so proud of it, and to actually have it in my hands makes me really happy. I'm so happy right now, can you not tell? I'm not done plugging the book yet, I'm afraid, guys. We're plugging this book forever. Yeah, baby! Anyway, that's more than enough for myself. But don't forget to go follow me on Instagram, where I'm Name Explain YT, and don't forget to join the Facebook page, Friends of Name Explain, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay, all, take care. I've got to film this one somewhat quickly. I'm in my hoodie because I'm about to go play some rounders if the weather doesn't give up on me. Should we film a video about the letter A? Can make a video about anything, me, even about a single letter, evidently. Anyway, should we begin? Let's go. A makes no less than 5 different sounds. Oh, I went weird there. Perhaps the one most linked with it is the short vowel sound, the sound. How do I know what? Just checking my recording. That being the E like sound. Many, Right, this is the tricky one. I need to make sure I get all these sounds right. A, O, and me, Okay. Book plug time. Rubbish. Better. But this is ultimately the reason why that was too speedy. Take care. Whew. We're done. Right. Then I'm going to go play some rounders. Or they only use one hand for rounders, so that's cheating, I guess.